Here's a very simple animation case. What we want to do is we want to animate these two so that these two cogs are working together. Now, there is no fancy rigging or anything here. This is not actually going to simulate this one to go around or anything like that. But what we are going to do, we're still going to animate it so it looks like these are affecting each other. So what we'll do first is that we're going to animate this big cog first. So the way we do that is first we select it. And now we're just gonna figure out what axis this here actually is. I have issues figuring out what axis different areas are in. This is not intuitive for me. I can't just be here and, oh, this here is the x-axis or this is the y-axis. Very hard for me. Maybe it's not hard for you, but if it is hard for you, then a little trick is that you can start to rotate it here. Then you can see what's actually being affected. So we start off by seeing that this here is the y-axis. So we set a key at frame 1, and then we go to the last frame, and we set a key here, and we set this to 360. Or rather type in 360, then we right click and we set a key. And now you can see that we have two keys. Hit the F key to frame them, and then we do the same for this guy as well. And again, I have no idea what axis this is just from looking at it, so I have to see what this is. And this here is the rotate X channel. So then we do the same thing here. We go to the very beginning. You can also do that by clicking on these guys as well to go back and forth to the very end. So we are going to set a key at 0. We're going to go to the very end, and we're going to type 360 here as well. And then we're going to set a key, right click, key selected. And now to see what's going on, hit the F key, and now you can see what's happening. And now if we were to play this animation, we can do that by clicking the play button or hitting Alt V. Now you can see that these two are actually rotating. But there are two problems. The first one is that they have a tangent on them, meaning they're not going in a linear fashion. And the second one is that they're not all actually working together. You can see there's intersections all over the place. So if we were to rotate now, you can see these are not working. So this is because they have the same amount of rotation, but they're vastly different. So the first thing we'll do is that we will change the keyframes to be linear. So select both the keyframes by hovering over and dragging over both, tangent and linear. And now you can see that if we play it now, this is going to be a completely linear animation. We do the same thing for this guy. Select both of them, tangents, linear. And now you can see that these two will just keep going linearly forever. And then what we have to do is we have to make one spin twice as fast. So this cog is smaller and they're still rotating the same amount. So what we have to do is we have to make this spin twice as many times or twice as fast. And the way we can do that is we can increase the amount of rotation the rotation amount is doing. So select the key, and instead of actually changing this here and rekeying it, we can just change the amount here. So here we can see this is time and this is value. So this is frame 100 and this has a value of 360. So we can set this to 720. And now you can see that this just moved up. We hit the F key. You can see that this is now gone back so it's framed. And now if we were to hit Alt V, you can see that these two are now working nicely together. So this is really cool. You can navigate around the viewport and you can see what's going on. Now if you want to play blast off this, we can easily do that. We can make sure that ambient occlusion is enabled. That's just going to make it a bit nicer. It's going to make everything that's close together be a bit darker. And then we can right click on play blast or right click on time slider down here, play blast. Make sure this here is set to 100 in quality. So we have nice quality. And with scale is set to 1. And then we can hit apply or we can hit play blast. And there we go. Now we actually have a play blast of our animation, which we could then take into Premiere or After Effects, whatever it might be, and use this as very temporary footage for now. This is how you would do it if you're doing a series, TV series, a movie, whatever it might be, and you just have to make an edit. Instead of rendering all this to make sure this is super nice, the animation might not work. Instead of doing that, we're just going to play blast it and then iterate on that and see how this works in an edit. So really quick animation. This is how I'm doing my turntables as well. I'll essentially just do the same thing here as I did with this one. I'll animate the Y rotate or rotate Y, and I'll just make that spin for like 360 degrees, 720, whatever it might be. And then I'll just render it out so it looks really nice.